Hi children, I am Shrikant and I am your physics teacher. Before we take up the lessons of 9th standard in a very systematic way, it is a must to know what have we studied in our lower classes. That means we need to recall our previous knowledge. For that, in 8th standard, the first lesson that we have discussed is nothing but motion. So, in connection to that chapter, we have considered in so many parameters. Those parameters are helpful in explaining the concepts of physics. That means here the same topic has been continued in 9th standard as well. That means whatever the physical parameters that we have studied in 8th standard, all those things we need to recall one by one. Okay, are you ready? Yes, let's take up all the parameters one by one. All the parameters are broadly classified into two categories. One is magnitude with direction, another one is just a magnitude. I think you got my point. Yes, you are right. The physical parameters are classified as scalar quantity and vector quantity. What do you mean by scalar quantity? What do you mean by vector quantity? Let us know about these two concepts along with a couple of examples. For that, let me consider one example. Imagine that you have started from your home all the way to our school. There are so many ways by which we can reach the school, which is nothing but our destiny, correct? Which is nothing but magnitude in terms of physics. So many ways by which we can reach school. Out of that, one will be the shortest one. Isn't it? Okay, that means if I am telling you start from your home and reach school, that is one condition. Second condition is start from your home, reach school in the shortest distance manner. So what is that? You can notice. The first one says you need to reach school. How you are coming, in which direction you are moving, all those things doesn't matter for me. Whereas in the second condition, you are coming to school such that that distance should be the shortest one. So in the first condition, how many options you will be having and how many options you will be having in the second condition? Yes, in first condition you have plenty of options, whereas in the second condition I think you will be having and you will be getting only one option. Am I right? Yes, that means depending on the conditions, how you are posing the condition, on the basis of that, the physics parameters are classified as scalar quantity and vector quantity. What do you mean by vector quantity? What do you mean by scalar quantity? The condition which I have put across to reach the school. The first condition is you are just reaching the school. How you are reaching? I am not worrying about that. That is only one condition I am putting across. Such parameters are considered as scalar quantity. And if I am giving you the condition of reaching the school in the direction by which you should reach the school, that is, there are two conditions. One is reaching the school, another one is the direction, the shortest distance. So two conditions I am putting across. Such parameters are called vector quantity. That means I can say scalar quantity, only one condition, you can write it as one dimension. Whereas the vector quantity is concerned, I am giving you the two conditions, that's why you can write it as two-dimensional. I mean to say, I am giving you only the destiny here, and here I am giving you destiny along with the direction. So that means scalar quantity. In physics we use magnitude in the place of destiny. That means scalar quantity is one dimensional, having only magnitude. Whereas the vector quantity is concerned, it is having both magnitude and as well as direction. Okay, what is that we can consider as an example for scalar quantity? Example is pretty simple, that is the about distance traveled is an example for scalar quantity. What is that we can consider as an example for vector quantity? It is nothing but displacement. If we consider few more examples for both scalar and vector quantity, that will be take speed. Similarly, we can consider a few more like time, mass. All these are nothing but the examples for scalar quantity. Coming to this vector quantity, displacement, velocity, acceleration, all these are taken as the example for vector quantity. Okay, let me give you some more idea about this vector and scalar quantity. Scalar quantity is one dimensional. It's officially we never use one dimension, two dimension, but to get the clear idea about these two, it is convenient to say that it is one dimension and two dimension. Now here another thing we need to know before we take up a 9th standard lesson. The other thing is the SI unit. SI unit. Now, what is the SI unit of distance travel? What is the SI unit for speed, time, mass, and here the examples for vector quantity like displacement, velocity, acceleration. SI unit is the demand that will give us the numerical value along with the uh, units. So that is part the advantage of giving the SI unit. Now distance travel, SI unit is meters. That means it is independent. It doesn't depend on any other factor. Speed, it depends on two factors. One is the distance and one is the time. So considering both, the SI unit for the speed is meters per second. I think you are familiar with negative exponent. Denominator, anything, whatever we are getting at the denominator, when you change that one into, shift that one into the numerator, the power will gets converted into opposite. That is why it is meters multiplied with s to the power minus 1. That is, it is read as meters per second. Now time, it is independent and it is SI unit is seconds. Mass is kg, or you can write kilogram or only gram you can take. And here coming to displacement. Displacement SI unit is meters, velocity SI unit is meters per second, and acceleration SI unit is meters per second squared. I will explain you the reason why it is meters per second square later on. But the thing that you need to consider is the SI unit of displacement and distance traveled, the SI unit of speed and velocity, both are same. Doesn't you think that it sounds something unique? Yes. That means though they are belonging to two different parameters, their SI units remain same. So that means we need to know more about displacement and distance travel, and later on we will take our speed and velocity. By looking at the SI unit, we can say that speed and velocity are one and the same, but there is a slight difference between those two. Similarly, displacement and distance travel, they are also having the same SI unit. That means there is some uniqueness, or they are also one and the same. So let us know about that. For that, consider 2 points A and B. If you start from A and if you want to reach B, which is nothing but the destiny, imagine, you can reach from A to B in any manner, like this, or any other way as well. But if I tell you, start from A, reach B in the shortest distance manner, how do you represent that? Yes, you have only one option, that is nothing but drawing a straight line or joining the initial point and the final point by means of straight line. See here, all moving from A to B. But in case 1 and case 2, you are going and reaching B without any particular direction, without defining any particular direction. But in case number 3, you are reaching from A to B with a particular condition, that is nothing but in a shortest distance manner, which is always represented in terms of straight line. That means here, case number 1 and case number 2, these two are nothing but an example for scalar quantity, which is having only one dimension, which is just describing the destiny, the magnitude. But case number 3, it belongs to vector quantity, where it is describing the destiny, that is magnitude, along with a particular direction, which is nothing but the straight line. So reaching A to B in case number 1 and case number 2 is considered as distance traveled. Whereas displacement is nothing but case number 3. This case number 3 belongs to displacement. Let me consider one more example. If a person is starting from the point M and he goes along in a random manner, if he return back to the same position M after some time, you know that the distance traveled and displacement remains the same? Yes, they never remains the same. You people are right. That means when any person starts from the point and he returns back to the same point, that is initial point and final point, if both things are same, then the definition for distance traveled, that is magnitude, the numerical value, the distance traveled magnitude and displacement value both never remains the same. Now, if any person starts from M and returns back to M, then his displacement, you need to draw the straight line. Is it possible to draw the straight line between this initial point and the final point? No, it's not possible because they are both are one and the same. So it's not possible to draw the straight line. Therefore, in this case, displacement value is 0, whereas distance travel never going to be 0. Understand? Now one more question. If a person is moving in a circular manner of radius 10 meters and if he goes along half of the circle, now can you guess his distance traveled and displacement? Yes, let us figure out that. That is, if a person starts from the point A and he walks along in a circular path and if he covers half of the circle, that is only this part, and if he reaches the point B, can you tell me the distance traveled and displacement? What is the distance traveled and displacement for this? If the radius is 10 meters, or you can take the radius as 10 meters. Let us take it as 10 meter itself. Now, what is the distance traveled? Since he is moving in the circular path and he has traveled half of the circular path, so that means the pathway is nothing but the half of the perimeter. So for that, distance traveled is equal to half of the path of the circle, means it is nothing but circumference of the circle. What is half of the circumference means? For the formula to calculate circumference is 2 pi r. That is half into 2 into pi into r. R is radius 10 meters. 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and we know that the pi value is 3.14 into 10, that is 31.4 meters is the distance traveled by that person. If you want to calculate the displacement, I have told you already, you need to join A and B by means of straight line. That means like this. Now what is given? Radius is 10. And in mathematics, you have studied radius is nothing but half of the diameter. And what is diameter? The line which passes through the center of the circle. And half of this is, that is OA, is nothing but radius. Similarly, OB is also radius. That means both the radii are same. 10 meter, 10 meter. So adding 10 meter and 10 meter together, it is 10 plus 10, that is 20 meters is the displacement. That means in order to displace by 20 meters, that person has traveled 31.4 meters. So we will discuss more about these concepts in the next class. Thank you.